I read this book when I was young. It was called The Fixer. First half of the book was about one thing. The second half of the book was about this trial, about some Jewish man who was accused of murdering a Christian child. I found a prayer book for a synagogue in Dallas. When I went to try to go to the synagogue to give them the prayer book, because it was dated for exactly 75 years, it was the 75th anniversary. I wanted to give them the prayer book. They had a notice on their website about a dramatic reading of The Fixer. Anytime I tried to contact any member of the Jewish community in Dallas, they mocked me in the most horrific manner. And usually they would have an actual African American woman with law enforcement looking uniform and armament follow me into the bathroom and use her cell phone. They actually did this, including on the 50th anniversary of the death of Robert F. Kennedy. I consider it to be anti-Semitic, and I consider it to be an anti-Irish hate crime. I believe that the Good Friday Agreement and the Oslo Accords were a strategic act of financial and sexual terrorism. And somebody has moonlighted that it was part of a nuclear paradigm, and it was. It was nuclear warfare against their own people. It was connected to genetic engineering that is part of a long-term eugenicist project that has already been determined to be a war crime. And it is specifically meant to be sexually degrading to people of Irish descent and Jewish descent that do not play into some stereotype of hypersexualization and or feigned subordination under the auspices of some contrived racial justice, which is really about indoctrinating people into performing in a particular kind of racial performance that only serves to keep perpetuating the same oppressive structures. What are you going to do to actually deal with the hate crimes that are allowed to sexually and otherwise torture people under the auspices of racial justice? It's a very significant and direct question. Even if only a few people are targeted as the token, that's enough. We have right now an alleged health pandemic that on another level is a manipulation of Federal Reserve policy where staff is pretending to be pitted against the members of the board in some sort of contrivance of workers' rights. It's right there if you know how to look at it. We're not supposed to acknowledge or look at Federal Reserve board policy as if it's something that's accessible to us. But that's what they're doing. And in the meantime, their theater is setting policy globally and using biological warfare in order to engage acts of ethnic cleansing. What are you going to do to stop it? These are war crimes. America has become Germany before the Allied invasion. This is exactly what happened in Germany. We should already have gone on strike. We should already have engaged in processes of seceding. We didn't. People lied and people tried to agitate for vice and licentiousness as a right. And people are being hooked up and socially engineered using healthcare, which is subliminally programming people to act cruel and malicious in the face of other people's subjugation. What are you going to do to stop it?